Hello, everybody. My name is Sandy. Welcome to the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers podcast video channel. We are here today with Matt Thompson for another season of this awesome offering called Exhilaration, which is our weekly breathwork class. We really decided to, I am the director of spiritual innovation as well as the director of media for the church, right? So what did that mean? So during the pandemic, a lot of the reason why we started this church was so that we could become connected again after, months and months and what felt like it was actually years of disconnection, right? Not breathing properly, wearing a mask, being 6 feet apart, not hugging, never getting together, but then embracing in a way this technology to say, okay, well, instead of focusing on what we can't do, let's focus on what we can do. Right? So we started creating this content really just so that we can teach people how to slow down, drop in, find peace so that they're able to stop, see other possibilities, see potential, make different choices. There's so many reasons to breathe, right, Matt? There's so many reasons to breathe. But, it really, as the director of this church, it really changed my life. And so it's something that I felt very passionately about sharing with folks. And so thank you once again for everybody who has supported us this year. Super, super excited. We did achieve our 501c3 nonprofit status. And to celebrate, we came out with these commemorative kind of like baby anniversary hats. This is like our birth. It's like our birth hats.
Yeah.
This logo was designed by Stan, and as you can see, there's definitely like a little hidden little mushroom species in there, a little cordyceps. Yeah, if you look in the C, the negative space in the C. So for a $50 donation, one-time donation, or for the $250 a year yearly donation, you will receive a hat. You heard it here first, as well as your really cool membership card so that you can have bragging rights to all your friends about how you support healing in community and helping people feel better and feeling like healing tools and modalities should be available to all people, not just people who can afford $15 a class. And I know that all of this is a business and an exchange, but, part of our mission is to say, hey, your breath is free. Let's use it.
Exactly.
Use it to its fullest capacity. And so, Matt, I thank you so much for bringing in this perspective into my life. Like, I have to admit, the first time I went to a breathwork class, I had absolutely no idea what to expect, even though I've been practicing yoga on and off for 20 years. I just never really had a yoga class that was only about the breath. I mean, of course, the breath is always synced to the movement. Therefore, I was very well aware of how powerful the breath is, especially for those of you that have been to some of those classes. The breath is the only thing that gets you through holding that pose, right? Nothing else is going to get you through that. So I already knew it helps with resilience and stamina. Certainly distraction, I guess, is kind of how I looked at it. But then, in a way, if you want to call it a distraction, aren't we all kind of needing to be distracted from something that's either pressing, hurting us, or maybe it's a way to process things that we're feeling or stored or trapped emotions and actually looking at them and acknowledging them and freeing them. I think it can open up and bring so many different things, and it's so simple. It's so simple, which is why I had become so passionate about it, because I think how many times did I say, Matt, if anybody would have told me I could get this freaking high breathing, I don't know if I would have necessarily, tried some of the other things that I had tried as young as I did. So I'm very passionate about getting this into schools. I'm passionate about trying to get this in the future into prisons. And, all of these ideas have come to me, in some of these breathwork sessions, holy crap, everybody needs to know about this, So again, what inspired you, Matt, to actually take it to the next level? I know you had been practicing. If anybody's been watching the show, everybody knows Matt has an extensive career as a professional athlete, professional mascot, and would often coach other people on how to use visualization techniques. But what was really the tipping point for you to actually go to the Alchemy of Breath schooling and over this last year really further your training in such a way?
I think I started exploring the breath in a different way initially when I hit my rock bottom, and then I started using the breath work on myself. And then as I was on this journey of just transforming, I kind of hit this point where it was just time to open up more again and come out of my little hermit hole that I kind of dug into. and just was kind of changing my life at the time, and just seeing the power of it outside of like athletics. So it was kind of like through a mutual friend of ours, kind of that I was doing some work with, and like leading, like helping with the men's group, and hiking and doing meditation and breath
I
work.
think we can say her name.
Yeah, so
Megan Marini.
yeah,
right?
so Megan Marini, if you know her,
Shout out to
and
Megan.
she offers a lot of beautiful guidance as well through her work.
Absolutely.
So she's always someone good to look up and reach out to as well. But she kind of opened that doorway for me and just kind of said, why don't you go look into getting like a certification for this? And at the time, I didn't even realize that you could do that. So, then I looked into it, and I did probably 2 months of research on different schools. And then I kind of sat with the Alchemy of Meditation, or Alchemy of Breath Academy, which is based out of Italy.
And now in 2 weeks, you'll be meeting up with some of your fellow classmates, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to be going, not my class, well, yeah, I will see some of my classmates. Heading to the UK, doing a breathwork session in London, and then doing some work with Natasha, who I met in Italy, who's associated with the school as well. And we're actually doing combined breath work together. So we're kind of looking at it as bringing the masculine and feminine together, like the personalities and the energy, into the breath work. We're definitely doing it in the UK in August at a breathwork camp. I'll be there for a week in August, and then we might look into doing it in some other countries as well.
Well, I'm very happy that you're going to be getting around studying how other people are really retreating, because it's funny, because you think of retreat as like go hide. Right? But really, I think of retreat as where you do a lot of the work, like the work that is the hard, deep excavating of the soul, of the emotions. I think for you, it was going all the way back to your pre-birth trauma, and a lot of people will deal with their ancestral trauma. A lot of people will just deal with their modern trauma, their what happened this year trauma. I mean, or if it's not even that, it's what else do you do at a retreat? I think of detoxification. I think of connection. I think of really clean, eating, and then a lot of times you end up making friends that will be friends for the rest of your life, right? Because you're all on this, you kind of meet like-minded people, right? Because you wouldn't be there if you weren't all trying to either change something or, just be a better human or change the way that you show up as a human, which is infinite, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of me living vicariously through you has been inspiring me, to eventually, again, just keep expanding our programs and maybe taking the show on the road someday, Matt.
Absolutely. I think going overseas, and there are some breathwork camps I would like to look at in the U.S. as well too. Some really good ones, but there's not many words that can really describe it. I mean, it's just really open. If you're ready, it's going to open you up. You're going to receive enormous amounts of healing, help, and then support, and just meeting. And that's part of the beauty of it. My classmates and I, like, we still meet. We're going to be meeting now twice a month still.
Wow.
We've been doing it once a month since we came back from Italy. We're going to bump it up to 2 times. So yeah, it's like this connection that, the people who stay within the connection, obviously you're going to lose a few, but a lot of these people I just see being around until, I leave this earth.
Well, this is kind of why I wanted to do this, right? I think of this work that we're doing as integration because, again, not everybody can afford to go on a retreat.
Right.
And then a lot of times people go on a retreat and they get back and then they want to kind of hang on to that feeling that they had and figure out how to integrate it in small bits in their day-to-day life. So we stop a couple times a week, coming together, streaming this content is kind of, to me, it's a way to sort of mimic in smaller doses the same feeling that you get on those retreats and to try to keep it alive.
Absolutely, because that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Either we're doing this on our own and trying to establish the routine. The retreat gives you some consistency every day of doing the breath work. And then this podcast and like what we're offering here is that other little tweak to help initiate some of the stuff that I'm doing with you or some of the stuff that you're doing on your own. we're going to do something today that's going to be very specific to what you just said, and really finding that next key to how to change our moments and how we respond to our environment.
Right, because when you respond too
Yeah.
quickly, you miss some of the options,
Right.
don't you?
Well, we can miss the options if we're locked in a room,
Right.
right? And we're going crazy about this one thread from the past or future, or also just restructuring the body chemically. We have to think about, because a lot of times we're not, we're not really thinking from our brain. Our brain is reacting to the physical body.
Right.
And how because it's the physical is react. If we have an addiction issue, a lot of times it's the inner feelings that come up first, and then it goes to the mind. So we're gonna do that a little bit today.
Well, it's so true. Neurons that fire together,
Right.
wire together. So sometimes it's the body that can make the mind sick, and sometimes
Right.
it's the mind that can make the
Right.
body,
Well,
sick.
to memorize the body's, just like muscle memory, right? So there's that memory from the past, and if we're in a cycle of behavior, whether it be something that serves us or not, it's going to be trapped within the body. And that's why a lot of times we focus on the chakras and the energy centers and transferring the energy.
True.
Because that's changing everything from a chemical neuron level to the brain level, subconscious level, everything.
Which affects your hormones, your oxytocin.
Everything.
Yeah. That's actually really important to think about, because when you are spinning, and you really have two choices, right? It's either change your outside environment, like remove yourself from the situation, or, create new habits in the external world, like that would be like going to the gym and whatever, or changing the internal thought processes, landscapes, the way you talk to yourself, the way you breathe. And this is like good advice, Matt.
And sometimes we have to just accept the situation too.
And sometimes, and then breathing.
Sometimes we can't.
Of course. That. Sometimes you can't change somebody's opinion, you have to just learn to accept that whole, like, how am I going to sit with the fact that it's okay that this person maybe doesn't like me or agree with my point of view, and like I can't let it affect me.
Right. And we're in a work environment or a home environment, and if stuff is getting to you, or if your boss triggers you, or the person on the next desk over triggers you, or whatever, what vibration or what frequency are we going to choose? Are we going to choose the old pattern of staying with, going like, this person pisses me off this way, and then you're looking and seeking for that, getting pissed off or angry or whatever, because there's so many different emotions that come up.
Which is in and of itself addictive.
Yeah, so then
Negative.
I forgot what we were talking about, but and then shifting, do we make this environment, at that lower frequency, or are we finding the tools through the breath work, through this podcast, through going to whatever other breath work pieces, and start engaging these tools into our daily life so that we come into places with a different frequency and we don't allow for the interruption. And then we flow through the day a little bit more clearly. Right.
But it's a practice. It
takes
practice.
It's brutal.
And so what was going to be the exercise then for today? Well, Happy New Year for one thing. I haven't even said Happy freaking New Year. I said it yesterday on the show, but I haven't said it on your show.
Yeah, Happy New Year to everyone. So hope you enjoyed the family time of year and whatever you choose to celebrate. But I think more importantly, just to be together with family and go through those stresses. Because that brings it up too, right?
Well, I think there's a sense of relief this time of year, for sure. Like this time, now that we've kind of gotten through the holiday, and we're heading up to the full moon right now also. Yeah. So I know we've all just been like, I have in my family just that like organizational mode, like let's get our back together, and a lot of momentum right now, obviously again with like the business, and it's just my little family. Like everyone's kind of like, everyone's like got soccer starting, new season starting, So it's a whole ready to go vibe. And today I know you said that something I said was going to go along with the theme, but I don't remember what
I don't remember what it was. Well, what we're going to do today is, how to make a moment like a new beginning, right? So the moment could be that trigger that comes up within your day. Let's just take a moment that is a lower frequency, like the way we may respond. So we're going to focus in on, so sometimes we scan the body quite a bit in here, and we'll do that lightly today. And then we're going to really hone in on the gut and the stomach, below the belly button.
The other brain.
So the second chakra.
And your other brain?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, it is one brain. Yeah, it's another brain for
kind
sure.
Of
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
No, it is.
It is.
Actually.
Yeah. You really have to take care of
so,
your gut.
And what I'm going to ask you to do is actually to really, we're going to really focus in on that lower part of the stomach. We're going to really feel it today, and because the lower three chakras, remember, or energy centers, is where all of our traumas get stored, right? So, or most of it, and so when we start to focus on this, it might bring some stuff up for you, because it might bring up feelings or emotions or sensations in the body that relate to something in our journey. So we're just going to kind of find that and sit with it for a moment. We're going to do a specific breath work where we're going to breathe into that center, like what I talked about when we scan the body, and just focus the prana and the energy going in there. We're actually going to squeeze it and kind of flex it.
Okay.
And when we do that, what I'm going to ask everyone to do is to go really slow and not just try and squeeze the area, but to really fall into the sensation inside, and to really just lightly starting to tighten up just the lower stomach.
Okay.
And we're just going to hold it. And then we're just going to breathe that energy into the spine, up to the crown. And when we reach the crown, we're going to hold it for 10 seconds and then release. Okay. And we'll do that like 5 times in a row. We'll take a little break.
So everybody should get comfortable then?
Yeah, so that's kind of like a light description of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Also, before we do the squeezing and holding of that muscle, I'm going to ask you to, so a lot of times we've done so much work lately on the heart and finding the light within the heart. So when we're falling into the sensation of the lower stomach in particular, what I would invite everyone to do is to also see if you can find that light, that energy source in that second energy center, just like the heart, because it's no different than the heart, where it has its energy center, its own light, like you said, its own brain, its own way of thinking. Because if that's where trauma is coming from, then that's where what we just talked about, right? So you were right with the brain, because it's like the sensations, feelings come from here, and then it goes to the mind, and then we go to whatever, maybe self-loathing type of behavior we might have, because that second energy center has to do with how we perceive ourselves. So if we beat ourselves up, low self-esteem, all that kind of stuff, that's what this energy center focuses on. So if anyone has, self-esteem type under that umbrella, which is pretty big, that's what this will work on today.
It goes along with the heart chakra too. It's like a lot of times it's a byproduct of a broken heart, right. In a way, But okay, great. Well, I'm going to get comfortable with that.
Let's see how you feel afterwards.
All right.
So I'm just going to invite everyone to lay down, find a nice comfortable position. We're going to do a little frequency sound today. Just get nice and comfortable. I'm going to ask that maybe you try and have your feet flat on the floor for me today, if you can. And fall into your nose breath. Breathing into the nose. Breathing into the stomach. And just for right now, just dropping completely into your breath. Follow the roadway, the map. Feel the air traveling through the nose. Maybe you need to widen the nostrils a little bit sometimes if we're in this dry heat. And just follow the breath. Just follow the flow of the air as it travels through the body, into the stomach, how it travels back up through the body, and how we exhale it out. And just staying with the flow of the air. And this bringing your attention to different areas of the body. So right now we're just bringing our attention to the flow of the air. And we're going to change our focus, our focal point. And so to draw the attention to different parts of the body, that's what we're doing when we scan. We're just drawing in and beginning to understand how we feel inside, not just on the surface, not just on the skin, not just the first layer of muscle, but deep down within inside you. So even here, just following the breath, really fall into it a little bit deeper. Not just how it flows, but how does it feel as it travels down the esophagus? How does everything feel in the stomach? How does it feel when the lungs inflate and deflate, or the widening of the ribs? Just fall into complete sensation. And we allow for this to drop us into the body. And this is where the work is done. This is where we do the work, is within the different energies in the body. And so now let's just bring the attention to the soles of your feet. Now just refocus, redraw the energy. No thoughts need to be said. Just feel the energy of the soul. Feel the earth, the power, the energy that comes from Mother Gaia. And you can even focus lightly on the inhale and just drawing energy from the earth into the soles of the feet. And if you can feel and drop into that energy, as you inhale, draw that energy up through your whole body. And then focus on it coming up through the spine, and even all the way up to the crown if you want. And just feel the energy of Mother Gaia. And just drop into this sensation. And just feel how it lights up the whole body. You can feel the energy travel when we really bring our attention to it. You can have tingling sensations within the toes. You might even have muscle tightening. You might really feel like a magnet or connected to the ground as you're drawing in the energy. To help bring balance to your whole body system. And you can even imagine that. Imagine this energy coming from the earth, just balancing out your whole body. Feel all the stress and tension just melt as you draw this energy up. Just feel yourself become lighter, softer, and just become this energy right now. You are just this energy as you drop in and feel the power of Gaia as she shares her energy from all over the world. When we connect to the earth, it's everywhere. And just feel this energy balance out the whole body as you breathe it up the legs, through the hips, into the spine, up to the crown. And breathe, exhale from the crown out. And then feel yourself just drop into one sensation of energy. Just one sensation or feeling of just being at balance with yourself right now. And just sit with this for a moment. Feel yourself just drop in. You're just energy. There's no physical matter. You just focus on the sensation and feeling of energy and of your full body system becoming balanced. Just a glow, a light. And just feel the vibration, the frequency throughout your entire being, every organ, muscle, cell. All the connections. And because of the sensation, you can drop into your entire being and just become energy, just become light. Take about 5 more breaths with this. Maintaining the breath into the stomach. And we have this power to really just focus on anything we want to transform. So any moment, we can really start to create like a new beginning, right? And so how do we start to create a new beginning? Well, some of it's changing this energy. So right now we're in this sensation of balance. Can we maintain this all day? Is something going to throw you out of balance, out of whack? And this is why during the breath work that we find where are we activated when a thought or an emotion arises. Where is it reacting in the body? This is why we drop into that energy. This is where the healing and transformation comes from. So today we're just going to do a little exercise. And I just invite you to bring your complete, total focus just underneath your belly button to that second energy center in the body. And I want you just to really hone in all your energy, all the breath, the exhale, the inhale. Bring all energy into this lower belly and just breathe into it. And this is all you're going to feel right now. You're going to drop into this energy center and really feel it. I find some discomfort when I do this. It does not feel comfortable for me when I first start doing this, because it's not always balanced out, even though we may be balanced right now. But now when we shift this attention, how do you feel in this energy center? Feel the energy right now. If it is discomfort, just continue to breathe into the discomfort and recognize this discomfort, because this is an energy blockage. So it's coming from somewhere. It's coming from an event in the past that's become stored. And if something comes within your mind to what this may be, just breathe into it and refocus back into the energy center, just below the belly button, the lower part of the stomach, intestines. And really drop in deep. Allow for yourself to really drop into this chakra. I invite you to seek the light of this energy. And continue to stay with it. If you're still feeling discomfort, which is probably pretty normal, just stay with it. Just really begin to understand the energy in this area, in this chakra, this energy center. And sometimes during this, when we focus on this, it might change our breathing a little bit. Try and bring it into the stomach. Now I'm going to invite you to be very gentle with this chakra. And I would like you to invite you to really focus on maintaining your breath and to lightly, slowly see if you can just contract everything in this area, all the organs, the muscles, and just kind of see if you can contract it very softly. And I want you to dive into it and squeeze it really tight fast. But just find this energy center and where it's linked in with the body. And just slowly begin to contract and tighten it. As you stay with your breath, stay with the breath on this, don't hold. And then lightly release it right now. Just release it. Just release it and let it go. Let that energy go. And just take a few relaxed breaths. And we're going to do this one more time. And so now I just invite you to drop into this space. Lightly start to contract. And to hold and to squeeze this energy center of the body. And just feel it, hold it. Stay with the breath. Hold it. You can play around with tightening it up even more and more, but we want to start off really gentle because we want to, are we in this energy center right now? Are you there? And now just release it. We're going to actually do this one more time. And so just breathe normal, just let everything, just continue to stay focused on this energy center and just breathe into it. We're not holding or squeezing anything tight. Just drop into this energy center. And then on 3, we'll just lightly begin to squeeze and tighten it again. So 3, 2, 1, lower stomach, below the belly button, all the intestines, the lower stomach. Slowly from inside, feel everything contract. Drop into this energy. Most likely some discomfort in here, and stay with your breath. Try not to hold it. Stay with the breath. And your breathing may change here because you are contracting and holding, so don't worry about how you're breathing. Just breathe into it. And now just release. Stay focused on this energy center. Stay focused. We're going to change this energy for you today. It's going to send you off in a totally different day and change the moments, especially in regards to how we feel about ourselves. My invitation now is that when I do the 3 count, we're going to slowly just move into the squeezing and the tightening of the second energy center. Just for like 2 seconds, so just slow, controlled inhale. And then after we contract it, my invitation to you is to draw that energy, so to really feel the energy as you contract. And we're going to draw this energy right into your spine. We're going to run it right up your spine, right into the skull, through your brain. Feel this energy engulf the brain and then go right to the crown chakra. And once you reach the crown chakra, I'm not going to know when you reach it, but we're going to hold it for 5 and then exhale. And I'll just say draw the energy up, and I'm not going to do a count. I'm just going to invite you just to do this on your own, because it's hard for me to know where everyone's at when you're listening to this. But to make sure you do know where the crown is, let's bring this to sensation, since this is the end goal, the opposite end. So I'm going to invite you at this time to take one finger, bring it to the top of your head, and take the fingernail and just press into the crown chakra and just fall into this sensation. Know this feeling. And this is exactly where we're going to draw all the energy to. And then just drop the hand down. And we're going to try this 5 times. And I'll just lightly guide it. So just find your breath, breathe into the energy center of the lower stomach again for a moment. And then on the exhale on this, you can relax the holding of the area. So we're just going to squeeze and hold that when we inhale. So we have refound our second energy center. We're breathing into this area, feeling the energy dropping into the light. And then on 3, we're going to tighten. So 3, 2, 1, just lightly begin to squeeze that energy, squeeze the energy, and draw it up through the spine, up, up, up into the skull, and right to where that finger was, right through the brain, and then hold for 5. And then when you exhale, just let it all out, and then refocus the energy back to that energy center. Squeeze, draw the energy up through the spine, to the crown. Feel it go through the third eye, through the mouth, into the brain. Hold it. And then just let everything go. And then start 3 more times. After you let it go, just tighten, squeeze. Draw the energy up through the spine. feel the energy go through the brain as well, and right up into the crown, right into the divine light. And then just release the energy. If you finish the 5 breaths, just fall into your nose breath and just go into total body sensation when you're done. Don't forget to hold at the crown. You don't have to count to 5, just feel it. And when you're done, just drop into your nose breath and just feel the body fall into balance. Maybe even bring your attention lightly to that second energy center. And just see if you feel a change in the energy from what it was in the beginning versus now. And I invite you now to just breathe actually into the crown, since we have that activated. Breathe into the light. And then just breathe that light on the exhale down through the spine and right out the soles of your feet where we started today. And just feel that transfer of energy. Even bring more balance to the system. And then all the way into Mother Gaia. And just fall into this nose breath, breathing up into the crown. And exhaling the energy from the crown through the brain, down through the spine, right down your legs, and have it shoot right out the soles of your feet. And just drop into this for a moment. And stay with this breath, this transfer of energy, divine light, love, compassion. Take 1 or 2 more breaths into the crown, down through the spine, out through the soles of the feet. And then I just invite you, when you are done, to drop in to your whole being. And feel the shift of energy around you. And then lightly bring your attention back to the second energy center. And I invite you at this time, as you bring the attention back, is to feel the light right now. Feel the light surrounding this chakra. And this can come out of the physical body as well. But just feel the energy around this energy center now. Just drop into the sensation of around it. Feel the space around the chakra. Sensations, the light, the energy. Let this area glow. Feel a new energy. Maybe you don't know what this feeling is, but just feel. Hopefully you found some balance within this energy center. And just take a moment and just feel it. Feel how light it is. Feel the glow. feel the space around it. Become aware of the space around the center. As we just keep our attention there for another moment. And then just lightly bring your attention back to your whole being of being light. And just be pure energy. And just drop into this balance. And then just lightly, I'm just going to invite you to reawaken. To bring yourself back at your pace and just begin to wiggle and move and smile, stretch, smile. Say I love you to yourself. And just be kind with your words. Be gentle with yourself as we shift into this new year. It's time for us to start changing our energy, how we speak to ourselves, how we feel about ourselves. Because we are all just beautiful people trying to find a way into this sensation of beauty.
Oh my gosh, Matt, I always feel like I'm like crawling out of this, like, instead of like a hole, like a cave, it's more like a light tunnel.
Yeah.
Like, oops, I don't know my right and my left with this thing. Oops. Okay. Yeah, so, wow, there we go. There you are. Hi.
How are you?
I'm so good. I think it's like so funny how I show up after, because I always look like I just came out of a deep sleep almost, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really cool. I really like what we have going on with the lighting right now in this room because, you know, you kind of see what's on the back of your eyelids a little bit. I think when I meditate or when I do these things, I tend to roll my eyes back in my head, and I actually sleep with my eyes open, which is wicked freaky for people. So when I get super, super relaxed, I think that sometimes I let a little bit of the actual room light in.
Yeah.
And today with all the motion and everything playing, like I really, really could like literally see the glow over my sacrum, this area, you know, over my where I was focusing the breath. And yeah, and you know, for me, like I probably had a lot of trauma until birth, till I gave birth.
Yeah.
And you know, I think something just to be noted, like you mentioned, this might open up a lot of emotions. You might have, you know, more things like stored in your cells than you realize. One time I went to a hip opening yoga class where there was a lot of deep breath work into the sacrum area. And I got in my car on the way home, and thank God I wasn't driving. My friend actually drove me, and I just looked at her and I was like, I don't know what's wrong. And I like literally just like bawled my eyes out. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, she's like, oh my God, no, like this is the point of this work. Yeah. This is like why you do this, you know? So yeah. So for whatever good it is, I mean, it certainly brings like, you know, connection and, like, again, I think maybe the long-term pain, like the physical pain, by releasing it slowly over time with things that we induce, hopefully it minimizes the long-term pain, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So I don't know. It was lovely. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah. Were you able to fall into that energy center? And could you feel like...
So going up, so the tightening was really interesting and very hard to also like maintain the breath. I think it was helpful to have us touch the crown to kind of give us a target.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's one I need to kind of work on a little bit more, like, and keep with, because it's not natural to like tighten and breathe, you know? So I think this is another good one to practice.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be doing a little bit more of this because it will really help with,
a lot of trauma that people suffer in that area no matter what it's from, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we're probably about at time. Yeah, I think, we wanted to just chat with people, anybody who may be wondering. We are getting the Friday night group going this week. It's not going to be a super, super formal meeting. We're just asking that you bring a journal because we are going to do a quick manifestation journal writing exercise, just also as we kind of use it to plan out our calendar year. So, also, if you have a talent, a skill, a workshop that you would like to lead at PCSM and or would like to become a member, please do check out our website. Give us a subscribe. I have to start saying that now. My daughter's so funny, imitating adults doing these
Right.
videos. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And certainly, please do tell your friends. And we are available here at 63 Washington Street. We're available through our website. Come see us this Friday for this going to be a sober integrated recovery practices group
And it
journaling
starts
session. It starts at 7 o'clock, and then on Saturday at noon, we are going to be doing a slow and flow yoga class, beginner yoga class, to some awesome pop music
yeah.
from DJ Wyatt. He's like a kind of a top 40 DJ,
Nice.
so it's a really fun, approachable yoga class. So check that out. Those are our immediate offerings.
Yeah, and I think what you just said too, like, because I think we're still filling the calendar in, right?
Yeah, we are
for
still
the
filling
next
it.
month or two.
Yeah, so come
So-
and give your ideas.
Yeah, and I think that's because the more people we have offering. So if there's anyone out there that wants to, because it doesn't, we just don't drink at this one because you do have events where there's drinking.
Yeah.
And but I think the more offerings we have too, because we never know what gifts you guys have out there. So,
Right. We have our
So
friend.
it'd be nice to see some new people show up, maybe.
Yeah, I think so too. I think on the 13th, we're trying to get a positivity infusion circle going by just a new member, Mark. He's doing a lot of somatic and trauma work himself. So, basically, we never know who's going to walk in the doors next. Do you know what I mean? So, so do come and just share your gifts. And especially if you're looking for like-minded people to explore some of these healing modalities with, whether you've ever tried any of them or not.
Exactly.
That's kind of the point, right?
Yeah.
And do bring a Friday. Yeah. So again, Friday night is always an alcohol-free group, a safe place for healing, sharing, dealing with disassociation, PTSD, trauma, and really just a place to make friends. You know what I mean? I'll probably put out a little mocktail bar and might have some other offerings. You never know. You have to come to find out, though. Never know what I have up my sleeve. You just really don't.
That.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for being here with us, reminding you always that your words do cast spells, so be careful what you say because you can't take it back. And always reminding you that your thoughts do have the power to change the future, and never underestimate that. And so, Matt, thank you for changing me and my makeup in my mind and my body. And I'm looking forward to all the changes ahead for 2023. I'm looking forward to growing together and cultivating these ideas and these shows and these groups and circles, and hopefully we'll be just doing it more often.
Absolutely.
Awesome.